Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As I was about to title today's video, you have the unbelievable power of floaters in NBA 2K24. They're actually kind of ridiculous, and when you pair it with, as you can see in this clip right here, it's not going to be the whole gameplay, just so you guys know, but when you pair it with the fact that my teammate has playmaking takeover and I have slashing takeover right here as well on an 80 driving layup, I got the Jokic layup package on right now as well. If you guys haven't even seen either, there's an even more freaky layup package in this type of big man set that you can get with Sabonis at starter 3. It's insane, and as you can see, I'm like literally just running straight at him, floater, running straight at him, floater, over and over again, and I do it right here too. So this is like actually ridiculous, bro. Like as you can see, the meter sizes on that are ridiculous, but I'm gonna show it to you in better context now with the full gameplay. And also, these are the attributes that I'm working with in that video. As you can see, I have an 80 driving layup, the silver fearless finisher, Hoff Pro Touch, gold float game, all that stuff, while also still having a ridiculous driving dunk and standing dunk. And this all pairs together really well when you have the layup, driving dunk, and standing dunk as a pretty unguardable slasher build in my opinion. What is tough to deal with when you're playing as a slasher in 2K24 is when people are sitting paint and the dunk meter size is just unbelievably small when it comes to the driving and standing dunks if they're in good positioning. So the counter to that is to float it over their head if they're sitting low, and that's what you're going to see in today's gameplay. So let's get straight to that. Alright, so not super comp or anything like that for the opponents. They're level 4 and then level 40, but as you can see, a little bit kind of low overalls at like 92. It is what it is though. I just want to show you guys this as good context of what you're going to see out of this build in particular and what you can get out of those dunks and layups. So as you can see, we start the game off with a lot of dunks. You're going to see me get the driving dunk early, and then we're going to go straight back to it with another dunk attempt. So as you're going to see, I'm going more ISO right here. So he's trying to get over the left corner. That's where his lethal is. So as you can see, we're hitting that little behind the back into another behind the back, and boom, we're able to get another driving dunk. So you're going to see they eventually start playing off on me a little bit more. And also that I was clipping this stuff for just my slasher tips. If you guys want to check that out, I have a full video of like all things you need to know as a slasher, including the meter dunk. So if you are kind of a combo who's interested in the layups and the floaters, but also the meter dunking, definitely feel free to check that out. But anyway, you are done seeing dunks in this video now. So anything past this is going to be straight floaters. They're playing low on me, so I'm going to be just purely looking for the float game. As you can see, he's sitting pretty low, and I'm like, okay, I can't get to these dunks. It's going to be a tough time, and as you can see, they're walling me up really well. So instead, we're going to go ahead and reset. Joey's actually going to hit his first shot right here of the game, though, and that's actually all he will get for his shots in this game as well. So now, as you can see, I have adjusted. I'm seeing that he's sitting low. He's going to be just doing that consistently. So we're going to go ahead and just set him up real simple, real easy. So the thing is, obviously, he's not going to jump at my driving dunks. So in I would say years past, you actually do want to jump on nearly every dunk attempt. So if you were sitting below the basket, I would think that's really golden opportunity for the driving contact dunk. But nowadays, that's not the case. It's more of a blinders aspect to your dunks than it is the dead eye ones. You can't dunk on people straight in front of you. You have to dunk on them from the sides. So this counteracts that really well off the fact that he feels comfortable sitting down in the paint like that. And I can just throw the floater up on his head. As you can see, really timeable meter. It will adjust like full real time as opposed to the dunks. They don't do that. The dunks lock in their green window no matter what once you've started the dunk, whereas with the floater, as you can see, it's starting small for some reason, but then it expands, and as you can see, I get it too far. I get too full of a meter to actually be able to see how big it could have been, but it's pretty huge by the time that it's at the end. So if I just miss it terribly, you would have seen the full range that it possibly had on that. Now, I also do have takeover now, so everything is going to be a little bit skewed in that sense, but you can see how easy they actually are just from that one right there. Like between the Hoff Pro Touch and the gold float game, you could honestly even have gold Pro Touch most likely. As you can see, I'm testing him out right there. I'm seeing if he's going to jump at my dunk attempts or, you know, floater attempts as well. So again, off this first one, I'm really just testing him out. I'm driving at him. He goes to cut me off. I fake one more drive to see if he was going to jump at that right there between either if he wanted to jump at the floater or the driving dunk attempt. So I'm feeling like we're pretty good now. He's not going to jump at that. So boom, I start the floater. As you can see, he's going to react late because that wasn't his plan to jump at me super early. And I know you guys are going to say like maybe this guy's a bot, but honestly, I do think no matter who you are as a player, for you to jump at that early is going to be really bad for you if you're trying to guard like a pure slasher essentially. Like if you're having to jump from almost the free throw line to stop that, then you're going to be playing really, really bad defense. If we're talking like, what if I fake that floater and then he jumps at that and then I just run right by him for an easy dunk? It's not going to be as easy as that. So once again, I'm faking a couple drives. As you can see though, we get him on that blinders dunk, and boy, is that the freest stuff you've ever seen, bro. When people are to the side of you on these contact dunks, it is gigantic in this game, especially pair that with 96 dunk and the finishing take obviously as well. But again, when he's playing good positioning and he's sitting right in front, we're going to have to go for that floater stuff a little bit more. So you can see I'm baiting him a little bit. I'm having having him play back a tad bit, and as you can see, late reaction on the jump. Not to mention, they're quite easy to time. It's not the same with how dunks, you're going to get a variety of different dunk animations, especially with contact dunks too. Whereas for floaters, these are set animations for the most part, especially with this Jokic one. Jokic floater is really good. I am looking forward to that Sabonis one coming out at starter 3. I'm at like 70% right now, so I'm probably going to be able to get that somewhat soon into season 2. But anyway, as you can see, he can test this one pretty good, and it's still a 34, and that was still like super greenable. Now, again, you can't really see the edge of this by the time that it actually locks in as the timing, but judging by how the meter was getting a little bit bigger, as you can see, like it definitely expands in that last little frame right there where you can see it starts to really expand. So anyway, floaters, again, really hittable. I think it's actually quite an underrated feature of 2K24, and it's one that I didn't want to confess to quite as much because I didn't like the fact that you had to be a layup demon in 2K24, for being completely honest. I am a little bit more of the dunk guy, so I'm not really a big fan of layups per se. But honestly, after, you know, further assessment, it really is a good feature in the game, and obviously it's a good thing that you can't just smash a dunk on everybody's head at all times or anything like that. I will say I wish the dunk meter worked a little bit more like 23 though, where it's more of an intermediate thing. Sometimes like the somewhat bad takes will just be smaller, but it wasn't such a... In this game, it's so black and white. It's so either really gigantic dunk meter or a really tiny one, and I wish it wasn't like that. I wish it had some more variation to it like layups do as well, but hey, I guess you just can't get everything right in 2K. they sure can't, I'll tell you that much. But anyway, moving along, as you can see, I'm showing Joey something, so let me show you guys this. We'll let you see its full speed. So I fake the drive, but then I'm like, nah, watch this though. And I've labbed this. You can actually do it consistently. As long as you are holding directly back on your stick while holding down on the right stick too. And as you can see, what I'm saying is no sprint, walk slightly backwards, and then hold down on your right stick. You'll get a standing close shot floater. This will work if you're like a guard who's playing with a big or something like that too. So if you went for the drive but it's not open, but yet your defender is still behind you potentially, you can throw one of these up as a crab essentially. It's like a midi, but like obviously if you shot a midi from this range, it's gonna lean you in and get a close shot. So with this, again, you're just holding back on your left stick and you hold down on your right stick, but you're going to want to make sure you're not holding sprint because obviously that's what will allow you to get that floater. So right there, as you can see, literally just getting a standstill floater on 2 people, and it works out straight like that. So I know most of the clips in this video were with slash take, but again, just to take you back to the original one that we even did of the first floater, this is still going to be pretty good size on the floaters, even with just 80 driving layup and the Hoff Pro Touch. This is like, as you can see, it snaps kind of. I'll try and get the perfect frame of it. As you're going to see, like pretty much right there, it's expanding and it keeps on going as well. So it's probably even further than the point that you can see in this part of the meter right there. But as you can see, obviously still snapping it to pretty close to the edge of the meter as well. Also, if you guys didn't know, I'm pairing up with the NBA 2K Lab this year, so you can use code LAKER for 20% off at checkout at their website. That's NBA2KLab.com. On this website is all types of really good statistical jump shot information. You can also test the jumpers on their website too. Plug the controller straight into your phone or to your PC. You can get early, green, late. It'll tell you where you need to adjust on that jump shot, or if you don't know what jumper you want to run, you just go to their jump shot recommender. You punch in your height, the jump shot rating that you're working with, and then based on the milliseconds of timing that you get, it'll recommend you a jump shot. So again, if you want to use code LAKER for 20% off at checkout, that's NBA2KLab.com. Appreciate you guys, and we'll get back to the video. So yeah, as for the game, we went 9 for 9 on the finishing, 18 points, a lot of floaters and driving dunks mixed in there between, obviously, like when I have him on my blinders area, I'll be able to actually go for that dunk meter, but if he's sitting low and taking that paint completely away from me, we're looking to the floater instead. Also, you have a couple variations of things you can do with your controller settings. So for instance, you can take your layup meter off, where you can obviously still choose whether you want your jump shot meter or to be on or not. But if you have your layup meter off, it's obviously going to give you a boost to your shot percentages. According to Mike Wang, it's also a 20% boost on layups as well as his jump shots as well. So I'm not a big fan personally. I don't think there's visual cues very often with layups. You can also, if you would like, I believe you can have your meter on for just this, but then as you can see, you can put your shot meter input type where if you want to do pro stick only, you'll have your layup meter pop up only on the right stick ones, and if you have layup meter like on but it's pro stick only, it won't pop up for your like regular X button layups or standing below the basket type stuff. Now, do you still get the boost? I'd have to assume so. I assume the game's gonna be smart enough to allow situations like that. Or if you think of it the opposite way, where maybe you want to be able to see your X button or, you know, square button if you're on PlayStation, if you want to see those types of inputs because it's a little bit harder to read them, whereas floaters are very similar at most, obviously, like most of the animations you get out of them. I would say most of them are pretty easy to understand the timing cue if you learn it, essentially. Whereas again, the X button layups, they're a little bit more unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen with them. So if you want, you could low-key put your shot meter input type to pro stick only, and then you'd be at the situation where if it's rewarding you with that bigger green window, then it's only going to be on floaters rather than to just happen to all layups. Me personally though, I prefer to just be able to see the meter on everything. I think at the end of the day, if I can't time it in the window the game shows me that I'm able to time it, then it's just my own fault. You could argue that, you know, if you master your craft of being able to see what the meter looks like, then you'll understand in future layups what it's going to look like, and you just be rewarded with that bonus. But I don't really vouch for that personally. I'd rather just be able to see the whole meter. Also, as you can see, we have Comet as the pretty much meter type. I know it's not going to show you guys, but I have mine set to by the head with large and the green color, as you guys can see. So if you want to copy over everything that I have right here, it's everything that you can see, except obviously I have Comet as what I have selected, even though you can't technically see that. So anyway, that's all video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to one to 2,000 likes. If you enjoyed the video and you made it to the end, put layup or put float in the comments so it supports me all the way through. And like I said, at starter 3 right here, you unlock animations that are restricted to this, and Demonis Sabonis is going to be the one that you get. This is a ridiculous layup animation. Let me show you guys it real quick. I'll just pull up one of my old videos. All right, so I'm going to show you guys a Twitter clip real quick. This is with actual Sabonis, so he's like 7-1 to be fair. And obviously, you know, you could get that technically on a 7-1 if you'd like. But either way, just want to show you guys what the animation looks like. So you can float this up from literally like almost the 3-point line. Look at this. I'm taking like one step in and it's getting floated straight up in the air. And it's a pretty broken animation by that logic. Like, think about what this means if I was being guarded off so far like that. Like, they're just paint sitting. You cannot afford to do that against this type of an animation, period. And I've already tested this as well. I went and changed Sabonis and took all his mid-range and his three-pointer all the way down. And same way that you see with my layups as well. This is layup rating based. It's not about your mid-range. It's not about your shooting or anything like that. Shooting badges don't influence it. This is purely about the layup rating. So even with a 25 three-pointer and a 25 mid-range, you're still going to be able to get, you know, stuff like this, essentially. So anyway, that is all for video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub if you new, don't turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And like always, try to win 2,000 likes. Shout out to this Twitter clip for absolutely booming too. And you can see the people are messing with this stuff as well. So anyway, that's all for the vid. Appreciate you guys watching. And that, take these, man. Peace.